How scientific knowledge accumulates and grows. The vacuum and the discovery of argon. So, the scientific knowledge or growth of scientific knowledge and idea depends on the experimental technique and scientific apparatus and periodically available any equipment. Let's take two examples to illustrate this. First, how the concept of vacuum evolved, and next, the story of discovery of argon, a noble gas. It starts with Aristotle, where he believes that the nature is not void, since nature hated a vacuum. After challenge hundreds of years, the Italian physicist Evangelista Torricelli, 1608 to 1647, conduct his vacuum experiment to become the first scientist to create sustained vacuum and discover the principle of the barometer. He filled a 4 feet long glass tube with mercury and inverted flowed out of the tube into the dish, but some did not escape, creating what Torricelli argued was a vacuum at the top of the tube. This posting the first serious challenge to the prevailing Aristotelian notion. 1644, Torricelli built mercury barometer that challenged atmospheric pressure from day-to-day curves variation in the height of mercury in a tube. The next step is invention of the vacuum pump related to Otto von Guericke, 1602 to 1686, conducting his famous Magdeburg hemisphere experiment related to vacuum pump. And the suction pump was known from the time of the Romans in Pompeii during the 1st century AD, as well as the Arabs in the 13th century. Robert Hooke, 1635 to 1703, and Boyle improves the vacuum pump to conduct the experiment on the properties of vacuum. So let's see the discovery of argon. It's very interesting. The first made by English scientist Henry Cavendish, 1731 to 1810. In 1785, this gas came through the investigation. He was more interested in finding about the fraction of air was not oxygen. The scientist knew that nitrogen could react with oxygen to form nitrogen oxide. Using electric spark to react oxygen with nitrogen in air, add more oxygen to ensure that all the nitrogen reach. Since the nitrogen oxide are acidic, he used aqueous sodium hydroxide to remove them and then used potassium polysulfide to remove the remaining oxygen. Still he find a small gas bubble of gas remaining. He wrote this bubble was not more than 120th of the bulk of the phlogisticated air, nitrogen. However, he did not continue to investigate this insert bubble a long time. It was not capturing any attention until in 1892, English physicist John William Stark, who knows for his investigation of atomic weight of oxygen and nitrogen, announced that oxygen is always 15.882 times denser than hydrogen, regardless how it prepared, and the base his observation on the experiment he had conducted. However, when he tried to find the atomic weight of nitrogen, he compared nitrogen in air denser by about 0.5 times than nitrogen formed in chemical reaction. He could not find explanation for his discrepancy, asking for peer review in later sent to the journal Nature, and the challenges was taken up by British chemist William Ramsay, 1852 to 1916, who repeat Cavendish's experiment, remove all the components of air, oxygen carbon dioxide and nitrogen. The interesting part, he had advantage over Cavendish. He access to spectroscopic techniques that were not available during Cavendish's time. He hated rest of the bubble gas and studied the spectral lines emitted and found that they did not fit any known element. The new gaseous element within completely there and made 1% atmosphere was named argon in a joint paper he wrote with Sturt in 1895 to announce the discovery, and they received the Nobel Prize in 1904. Argon came from the Greek argon, which means inactively or lazy. The period reached in the history of chemistry where more than traditional belief of five conceptualized elements by Aristotle, and we had rule to recognize different elements. We also had the concept of the particulate nature of matter to explain what happened when a substance change state or when fluid mix and why gases are compressible. Lavoisier work taken most important quantitative turn in chemistry. Scientists were meticulously measuring weight of substance taking part or being produced in reaction and try to make sense of the number obtained. The special attention paid to balancing weight of the material and weight of the product of the reaction. They later collect dates and help chemists to devise simple new. They later collect dates and help chemists to devise simple new laws about the behavior of matter in chemical reaction. There are three laws of our understanding of the nature of matter during this period. First, the law of reciprocal properties by Jeremias Benjamin Richer. Second, law of constant proportion by French chemist Proust, and the third law of conservation mass. Our one of law, the law of constant proportion, was derived often analyzes many components and their composition. It states that compound always contain element in a definitive proportion. What this mean? Whatever method and material using as a starting materials, you always end up with the same proportion of the element in that compound.